Hi, this is week 13 and we're going to be talking about external mats. We have been talking about internal mats when we talk about chroma key and some of the other effects that we've been using, but this time we're going to talk about external mats. And we're going to start off with something pretty simple. We're going to have a background and then we're going to have a fill for a text. And in this case the fill will be some clouds. So let's go over to our background first. Our background is the still called Seattle, and I'm going to put that on my layer number 1 here. So if I look into my sequence settings, I see that the size of my sequence is 720 by 480. So the next layer is going to be the clouds. Okay, so we're going to look for the clouds and put that on layer 2. So that's the fill for the text. So right now we don't care how big it is because we're going to fill the text with the clouds. So let's look for the text, and it's called Seattle, one word. And we're going to put that on layer 3. And we see that it's pretty big, so I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to sort of randomly move it over here into where my position is in the sky. Now, how do we create this effect? How do we get the clouds inside of the mat? Okay, so we go over here to Effects. In Keying, we look for Track Matte Key, and we actually place that on the cloud layer, which is the fill. Okay, and what are these options here? Well, first of all, Seattle does have an alpha, and so we could keep it as composite using matte alpha. Now the mat itself is on video layer 3, so we're going to select video layer 3, and we see here that immediately the clouds fill the text. Okay, it's not exactly in the right place. Now if I click on Seattle and I move that over, you see here there's a chance that I could go outside of the clouds. So I want to be careful not to do that on either side or if I went up and down. But in the meantime, I'm going to scale this down a little bit. Okay, I'd say about that size, and maybe move it up a little bit. Okay, now if I alternately select the clouds and move the clouds around, you see that the clouds and the text are locked together. So that has some advantage maybe, or a disadvantage depending on what you're doing. In this case, I could move the clouds or I could move the text and put it in the correct place where I want it. I'm going to say right about here. Now if I play it, I see that the clouds fill the text. So what if I added a drop shadow? So let's type in drop and find our drop shadow, which is under video effects and perspective. And what do I put it on? You would think you would put it on Seattle, the mat, but no, you actually put it on the clouds to create the drop shadow. So that's a little bit tricky and doesn't completely make sense, but just so that you know, if you wanted to add the drop shadow, put it on the clouds, which is the fill. Okay, and again, the drop shadow, I could add a little bit of softness and a little bit of distance, and also make it a little darker so we could see it better.